Hello, Zach.
Hello, Aaron.
Have you heard of this Ion Maiden?
I have heard of it. I have not played it.
This is a game by 3D Realms, who you might remember as being the people who did Duke Nukem back in the day.
I do recall that, and this looks quite a bit like it already.
It's in the same engine. It's in the build engine. They just updated it a little bit. But yeah, you can see it's slightly upgraded graphics. The textures look a little nicer, but it is basically just in the same engine as Duke Nukem 3D.
Damn it.
And it's the premise is sort of like they were just like we're gonna forget about Duke Nukem forever. And that was what it was called, right?
Yeah, and that's probably a good decision to just forget that game ever happened.
Forget that happened, and this is like another game that we would have made back in like the 90s. And it's really great. You play this woman, and you are part of like the EDF, or like the Earth Defense Force or something. And
Now that's from Red Faction.
oh, is it? Maybe it's something else. Her shirt eventually says it when I get some armor. But it's very similar to Duke Nukem in that like you're running around and there's a lot of secrets you can get. Like I'm about to find a secret actually. Like how do I get in there? I wonder. But what's this? Oh, a little ladder I can jump to.
So the idea is that there's all these secrets all over the place, so you have to like really explore each level to find everything.
Yeah, there's a lot of replayability. And you'll see at the end of the video that I do not find all the secrets. And I've played through this. They give you, so this is a preview campaign. What that means is that when the actual game comes out, it'll be completely separate from this. This is basically a demo with a completely unique level. Because of that, wait, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, preview campaign. Because of that, this is like sort of like a try before you buy, although you do have to buy. But yeah, the new game when it comes out, it'll be I think it's at like 7 or 8 stages, and each stage has like multi-tier levels. And this is sort of just like a tasting of what you'll get.
So how many levels are there within this like preview?
1. So this is only 1 level. It is multi-stage, I guess. There's this part, and then you'll see I go to a different area, and it's like, are you sure you want to go to this other area? And I think it does it twice. And it's sort of like, I don't know, it's like a little tasting.
So, did they say when like the full game is coming out?
This year. It's going to be 2018. But for now, it's just in development.
So how are they marketing this just to like nostalgia junkies or people that love Duke Nukem 3D, or are they trying to make it a little more appealing to like a modern audience?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think it is made for people like us that grew up with Duke Nukem. I don't know if teens are going to be into this. I mean, retro stuff is a thing, and indie games are all like 8-bit or 16-bit, and maybe this is the start of the next iteration of that, where we're going to start seeing build engine games are going to become popular again, or like what was after 16-bit, like N64 games are going to start being indie games.
I don't know about that. The N64 graphics have not aged well.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would play like a modern day Pilot Wings. That would be interesting. Although I guess they did port that to 3DS and made it look better.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking more of like GoldenEye.
Yeah.
If you go back and play that game, it has not held up well.
That's a super good point.
You're right about the fact that it's like a style of graphics now, the retro style, where they have like the old 16 and 8-bit, like the pixel art stuff. So I guess I don't know why they haven't done this already, to be honest. But
yeah, I mean, it seems like such a good idea because, I mean, I don't know anything about video games, but it would seem to me that this would be easier to develop than a current gen, like high polygon count AAA title. So you're getting a lot of bang for your buck.
Yeah, you would definitely think it would be less expensive, or I guess maybe not expensive. I mean, I don't know anything about that.
To some extent, I mean, if we look at like the new Doom that came out recently, or like the Wolfenstein games, they have also embraced, not graphically, but gameplay-wise, sort of like old school classic, like this does, picking up armor and health packs instead of that stuff that Halo introduced, where it's just
went back to the roots.
Exactly. And it's I don't know, I play a lot of Brutal Doom, which is in some ways similar to this, in some ways it's better, in some ways it's worse, but I like the old school, I have to say. I'm an old softie for nostalgia.
I mean, even the latest Call of Duty, the World War II game, like for the campaign, they brought back having to use like health packs to.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
To get health back instead of just waiting and having it come back automatically.
And they have teased that there will be a multiplayer component, but they haven't said what yet. And they said it would be very interesting.
Well, I'm very curious about that.
This is me realizing that you can kick heads around.
That's a nice touch.
So I'm about to get. So your main gun is called the Lover Boy. It's apparently based on a real crazy revolver that shoots 3 bullets at once. But this is the shotgun that I've just picked up, which looks like a grenade launcher, but it is not a grenade launcher. It's actually
it's
a very satisfying shotgun. And they have said that weapons will have like alternate fire modes, and there will be interesting variants. There's going to be a bunch of crazy weapons, apparently. But in this campaign, you only get to have I think you only unlock 5 of them, maybe.
So have they talked about like whether there's going to be big boss battles or anything like that?
Yes. So this preview campaign does end with a crazy boss battle, but I don't show it. I want people to like buy this game because I think it's very good, and I would be into more games on the build engine. So I did not. I didn't show you the whole thing. You gotta buy it. But there is a crazy boss battle that I won't ruin towards the end of this campaign.
How long does it take?
I've been doing a lot of secret hunting and just like replaying and trying to get better and playing on harder difficulties. And I feel like I can slam through it in maybe 30 minutes. It's pretty quick because it is just the one level. And if you know where you're going, like a lot of the exploration will add time, but once you know where you're going, you can slam through it and get good and kind of speedrun it. Speedruns of this game, like speedruns of classic games, is something I like to see because your movement is so quick, and there's like little tiny shortcuts in every level. So a speedrun of this would be really cool.
I'm sure this game will be on Games Done Quick eventually.
That would be great. I would love to see that. Maybe even this preview build will be on. That would be even better.
Oh yeah.
But the aesthetic is very so I think the plot is it's the GDF, not the EDF, the Global Defense Force, and it's being overrun. The world is being overrun by these like crazy cybernetic terrorists that are kind of like, I don't know if they're undead, but they're definitely very cyberized.
And what are they trying to do?
TBA, I don't know. It's undetermined.
Well, all you know is they gotta die.
They gotta die. And, I think they definitely are some form of robot, because every once in a while she'll make some quip. She'll say, Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto, as you, blow some guy's head off. That's another thing that carries over from Duke Nukem, is she's got a lot of one-liners.
Yeah, but I just finished, Far Cry Blood Dragon, and so...
Oh, it's so good.
Having that, old style, quips and puns and stuff like that is pretty great.
Other things I think it takes from old school is crazy weapons. Like in modern day shooters, take the most recent Far Cry that just came out, you get pretty generic weapons, but in something like this or an old Duke Nukem game, you're gonna get crazy. This shotgun is very interesting, and there's a minigun you unlock for a very brief amount of time in this demo, but crazy looking Duke Nukem style guns is something I'm looking forward to a lot. So many of Duke Nukem's guns were very iconic to me. This bowling ball grenade is something that is unique to this game that I think is pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
It has light enemy tracking ability, and it has physics as well, which the build engine did not used to have physics, or it had very dumbed down physics.
So, is there like some sort of progression system or like carrying over the guns you've picked up?
Not really. So look, this is important. It says you're still missing 19 secrets in this area. Are you sure you want to proceed? And just for the purposes of this, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the next level. But
Wow.
there's I probably found only 1 or 2, which is crazy to think about. There's like 22 or something secrets in this level. I don't even know.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. But we'll see a little bit of the second part. And I assume that all levels are going to be sort of sectioned off into these bite-sized stages. This is part 2, going into the beneath the GDF. But how does this look to you? Does this like seem something you'd be interested in?
I don't know. I haven't. I don't know if I ever played Duke Nukem 3D.
Oh, really?
Like I remember the old Doom games, and this is kind of similar to that.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely in the same style, but I don't. I might. It depends on like how much it costs.
What about this? What if I told you that somebody asked 3D Realms if they were interested in porting to the Switch, and they were like, maybe.
Oh, yeah. I am all for playing everything on the Switch. So, especially if it's like an indie game or something like that. And I have not played a first-person shooter on the Switch yet.
Nor have
So
I. I
would-
keep meaning to. I want to pick up that Doom when it gets cheaper.
Well, and they have the Wolfenstein game that came
Yeah.
out like last year coming up.
That's
so,
gonna happen. Yeah, and I have not played that, so I might do that. Underwater
but
section.
So is it coming out for like PS4 and Xbox, or is it just a PC game?
As far as I know, the only thing they have confirmed at this time is PC, so it'll be on like Steam. It'll probably be pretty cheap, depending on how long the actual campaign is. But for now, that's the only thing they've confirmed. They have hinted that it will be other places, but I don't know. I would imagine it would almost be more work to get the build engine to output like files that are capable of being played on a Switch and a PS4 than it is to actually make the game in the build engine. But I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably true. But I liked the most recent Doom game quite a bit. I
Yeah.
had a lot of fun with that, and you're right, it does like have that really fast controls and the old style of sort of going and picking up your health and your armor and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, maybe I would actually have some fun with this. This reminds me of whatchamacallit, Half-Life.
Yeah, you get shades of Half-Life in this as well, which is another great thing. Another great game that should be heavily lauded and remembered fondly.
Well, and if you liked those games, this is definitely gonna scratch an itch for you.
For sure. I mean, this is definitely made for the 20 or 30 something that grew up playing those old school build engine, or what was the Doom engine? Was it just called Doom engine? But those old school things where like sprites were 2D and you had insane like double-barreled rocket launchers and things like that, and you moved crazily fast. Like,
Yeah, I'm curious to see what other weapons and items they have for this game.
I am as well. There's a little teaser image when you beat the preview campaign where it says like, this is what you have to look forward to, and it gives you some stats of like, we're targeting this many levels and there's going to be so many new weapons and like crazy enemy types. So I mean, these guys, this like faction of robot crazy people could only be like, maybe it's only one faction. Maybe there's also going to be like aliens or like werewolves. Who knows? You know, the sky's the limit.
That's true, and I wonder if they plan on having like a lot of stuff, like additional content for it. I wonder kind of what the release schedule is like for it.
Yeah, that would be interesting if they're like release DLCs for it and stuff, if it sells really well, which I hope it does. I really want it to be a big seller because I want as much of this as I can have. I would love. I mean, imagine like, did you ever play Hexen?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Hexen was sort of like Doom, but with like fighting fantasy, like you could have a sword and stuff. I would love an RPG in this style. But anyway, this was Ion Maiden, and it's available on Steam. You should check it out, and you buy the preview build, and you can get the full game later this year.
Sounds good.